Most of us know about Hitler. Hitler was the main reason for the Second World War. With his leadership and strategies, he occupied many countries and caused immense trouble for many others. However, he had long desired to conquer the world's largest Soviet Union, which at that time consisted of present-day Russia and several other countries. For this, during World War II, he also conducted an operation called Operation Barbarossa. Despite coming very close to victory, Germany failed to win against the Soviet Union. Why did Operation Barbarossa fail? What mistakes did Germany make? How did the Soviet Union defeat Germany in this operation? Let's find out all these things in this video. Although Germany and the Soviet Union had very different ideologies, they remained allies and signed a peace treaty in 1939. As everyone knows, World War II started in September 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. However, the Soviet Union also played a part in this invasion of Poland. Germany and the Soviet Union successfully invaded Poland together. Later, France, an enemy of Germany, was also defeated in the war. Then, Germany's, meaning Hitler's, next target was the Soviet Union. On June 22, 1941, Hitler started this operation against the Soviet Union under the name Barbarossa. However, despite the peace treaty between Germany and the Soviet Union making them friendly countries, Germany had viewed the Soviet Union as an enemy from the beginning. Destroying the entire Soviet army, looting the natural resources there and enslaving all the people there, as well as occupying places for German people to live. In short, Hitler's idea was to conquer the entire Soviet Union and merge it into Germany. This would give Germany more natural resources, expand German territory, increase the German army, turn the Soviet people into slaves, and provide good living places for the German people. This was the main objective of Operation Barbarossa. However, Germany planned well but failed. With nearly 3.5 million soldiers, 3,400 tanks, and 2,700 military aircraft, Germany began its attack on the Soviet Union. The German army was divided into three groups. They attacked from three sides: Leningrad in the north, Moscow in the center, and Ukraine in the south. However, Hitler expected a very fast victory. He wanted the operation to be completed quickly and victory to come fast. The Soviet leader, Joseph Stalin, did not anticipate that Hitler would attack them. Also, the Soviet army was completely unprepared to repel such an immediate attack. The Soviet Union was large, but its soldiers lacked proper training. They could fight, but they lacked proper training for technical attacks and counterattacks. However, the Soviet Union had 5 million army soldiers. As soon as he learned about the German attack, Joseph Stalin alerted his 5 million troops and 23,000 tanks and aircraft. However, on the first day of the attack, 1,800 Soviet aircraft were destroyed. It must be said that Stalin was frightened by the Germans' audacity. It was the summer season of 1941. The German army began burning down villages in Russia. After burning them, Germany occupied those villages. Many Soviet soldiers were tortured by the Germans. Soviet civilians were also brutally tortured. Germany captured nearly 300,000 Soviet soldiers as prisoners. Initially, Germany achieved victory. They occupied many villages. It continued like this. Hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers and civilians were killed. They caused many problems for the Soviets. They halted Soviet transportation. Despite many problems, the Soviet Union had a large army and needed to protect its people and fight back, so the Soviet Union cleverly began to counterattack. From then on, Germany started facing defeat little by little. While fighting, Germany faced a very big problem: the harsh winter. The Russian winter arrived earlier than usual. At that time, the temperature in the border regions of the Soviet Union was 0 degrees Celsius. German soldiers did not have enough tents, shelters, or sweaters to withstand the harsh winter. Also, to enter the cities deep inside the Soviet Union, they had to cross very dense forests. It took them many days to cross those forests and deserts. They could not bear the cold with the facilities they had. Because of this, not only could the soldiers not fight properly, but their survival itself became difficult. In the Soviet Union, the distance from one city to another is very large. So, for the German soldiers fighting in the war to receive food, fuel, and weapons quickly, German transportation needed to be very strong. The Germans planned to occupy many areas in the Soviet Union and use their railway lines. But the Soviet Union's railway track gauges were suitable only for their trains. German engineers could not quickly bring trains of that track gauge size. Moreover, the roads in the Soviet Union at that time were in terrible condition. If it rained, all those routes would get blocked. Germany did not take these factors into account. Another issue was that the lubricants used in military vehicles froze very quickly in the cool weather. This slowed down transportation even more. Due to such poor planning, they did not receive anything at the proper time. Furthermore, the Soviet Union fought back, gradually winning and easily cut off Germany's transportation lines. As a result, the Germans did not receive adequate weapons. They also lacked sufficient food and essential supplies. Crucially, German soldiers lost proper communication with Germany. This caused a lot of trouble. After entering the Soviet Union, Germany had not prepared any plans to prevent the Soviet army from potentially stopping German transportation. Also, expecting a very quick win, they did not prepare for long-term transportation needs. Divisions arose among the German leaders themselves. They wouldn't agree on each other's decisions. Unity among them decreased significantly. As a result, proper guidelines did not reach the soldiers. Also, Germany lacked a fixed target. While some German troops attacked Moscow, other troops attacked Ukraine's agricultural resources, meaning crop fields. Lacking a fixed target turned out to be a big mistake for them. Also, Hitler made many wrong decisions. He did not follow the decisions of his subordinate general officers at all. Sometimes, even when it was known that a certain area had a large Soviet army presence with superior weapons and that the German soldiers were outnumbered and would likely be defeated and killed, he still ordered them to fight. Seeing the actions of Germany and their own people dying, many German people themselves did not support Germany. Thus, Germany's strength diminished. The Soviet Union's army lacked proper training, but the Soviet army itself was very large. Germany underestimated their intelligence and the weapons they possessed. Also, engaging in war with the Soviet Union required a lot of military aircraft, weapons, and manpower. But underestimating the Soviets, they did not carry enough vehicles and weapons for the war. In reality, the Panzer tanks heavily involved in the war at that time were old models for Germany. But the Soviet Union had new generation tanks just coming into service. Their technology and weapons were also very advanced. Furthermore, anticipating that Germany would destroy Soviet war factories manufacturing guns and bombs, the Soviet Union quickly dismantled nearly 1,500 factories and relocated them via rail routes to isolated places where no one was present. So the Soviet Union did not face a problem with weapons supply. Moreover, the Soviet Union army destroyed every resource belonging to Germany, whether it was water, shelters, or any other German-related resource. Everything was destroyed. After the war started, Stalin did not call to save our country, but rather, our mother Russia. These slogans motivated not only the soldiers, but also ordinary people to feel they must save their mother Russia. Also, the people in the Soviet Union cooperated greatly to win the war. To prevent Germans from entering their cities, they established defensive lines around the cities. In many places, they dug trenches around the cities to stop Germans from entering. Due to heavy rains, these trenches turned into small canals filled with mud. Thus, due to the Soviet Union's powerful planning and attacks, Germany gradually retreated. Consequently, the Soviets reclaimed the lands and resources occupied by Germany. From then on, German soldiers started dying. Ultimately, the Soviet Union achieved victory over Germany. World War II ended. This incident proved that evil intentions and expectations of a fast victory do not always lead to success. Okay, friends, if you liked this video, please like and share it. To receive more interesting and useful videos like this without missing out, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.